While sometimes you walk through your life carefully balancing things that are good and bad paths for you. Have you ever wondered how much time you actually have? How much time you've spent doing trivial things? How much time you've spent happy or unhappy in your life? How much time you've been unhappy? How much time you've spent doing automatic tasks, actually living life on autopilot? So didn't it occur to you, wait a minute, is this really life? If so, congratulations, you have taken the first step in the right direction. And for everyone else who will have the opportunity to take that first step today, your life account will be placed on the table. Welcome to the dark side of the reality channel. The internet is our greatest modern invention in the history of mankind, an invention that enables unstoppable knowledge to those who know how to take advantage of the opportunities such a network provides. This network has irreversibly changed our lives in just a few decades, allowing a complete stranger to change someone's life on the other side of the planet without ever coming into direct physical contact. Isn't that fantastic? Today you will hear an original story that I personally heard from a wonderful man over 15 years ago, and he probably heard it from someone or read it somewhere over 15 years ago. Today, some of you will encounter new information about your lives for the first time. This information, which has never occurred to you before, can change some of your views on life and make you appreciate your remaining time more. So, having life before death depends on each individual and what they consider life to be. A few years ago, during a conversation with my best friend's father, I shared with him my life philosophy and thoughts as a little boy. After that, he laughed and said, "You have no idea what you're talking about because you're just a little kid on life's autopilot." I was shocked because I didn't know what he was talking about. What a kid when I'm 15. Man, what an autopilot. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't understand what he meant until he explained it to me in the next few minutes. And those simple factors are still deeply embedded in my memory. He said, "You are 15 years old. How much of those 15 years have you really lived? How much experience do you really have to give your opinion on this life? Now I'm going to subtract the years from your birth to your 3rd or 4th year, when you don't remember your childhood and weren't aware of life on average like most people. People don't remember anything before the age of 4. We subtract 4 years from your 15 and now you are 11 years old. On average, you spend a third of your life sleeping. So let's add that up and round up to 4 years. Now you have 7 years left. From those 7 years, subtract the time you spent on basic education, learning to read, write, and communicate with people. Add to that every minute, day, month, or year you spent on trivial things and tell me what remains after all this. In those 15 years that you call life, you read several books, watched several documentaries, and then decided that you have your own opinion about life and that you can philosophize with me here as you manipulate silly girls who fall for your tricks with those identical words that the man said. He literally said those same words. He wasn't angry or rude. He brutally knocked me to the ground and shattered all the knowledge I thought I had. And after that, I wasn't angry or disappointed. I was fascinated and wanted to know more. Over time, I learned a lot more and constantly broadened my opinion of people with my thoughts and ideas. These ideas, which after so much time I can share with other people who will know how to appreciate such ideas. When we take our lives and put them mathematically as a simple calculation on paper, we come to a shocking fact that many people have never even thought of. Do you know that an average person and resident of the developed parts of the world, which includes us, spends on average, wait for this, 6 months of their life waiting in lines? Lines in shopping centers, lines at the post office, lines at the bank, any line that comes to mind. On average, people spend a full 6 months of their lives waiting in them. Wherever you stood and waited, 6 months of your life were put on hold. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of how much time you've lost in traffic jams that you could have avoided in your life. It depends on the country and individual people, but on average, you've lost a year of your life sitting in a car or other transportation vehicle in city traffic. How much of that time did you spend in stress due to frustration because of that same traffic jam and other things in life? A significant part of the audience might be interested in this information, and all the data I'm mentioning here is based on scientific studies and research because scientists are interested in these types of social data. As for women, here's a little example. Women spend an average of 1 year and 3 months of their lives on makeup and beautifying, mostly in their bathrooms in front of a mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, we spend 45 days shaving, and speaking of shaving, the 3 months of women's lives is not counting hair removal. Of course, some things are necessary. It wouldn't be very convenient for men to walk around with their beard falling to the floor, or for women's hair to fall and cause them to trip. Some things are inevitable, but we can still better ration our time for such activities. Let's move on to the truly frightening things, the things that most people are completely unaware of and perform on autopilot in life. In what you're about to hear is genuinely concerning. You spend 9 years of your life watching television. I repeat, 9 years of your life, on average, watching long and often made-up lives. Furthermore, you spend 3 months of your life deciding what to watch on that television. Maybe some of you will say, but I like watching that television because I enjoy watching a good series because it relaxes me after a hard day's work. That's true from that perspective, but I repeat, on average, you spend 9 years of your life watching long and often made-up lives. When you reach the end of the average life expectancy of 78 years on this planet, you would probably wish you could go back a year or two and recover some of the time you've lost staring at a screen. When we subtract everything we've counted and what we haven't because it's impossible to say every little thing in this video, we come to the conclusion that what you're living and what you consider your life is not life at all. For some people, this truth might be a complete novelty. For the first time, you'll become aware of the situation and better use your remaining time because you simply don't have time. A simple sentence when you are told that you simply don't have time to waste if you really want to get the most out of your life. Because how much time do you spend on a job you don't like? Most people spend their time on such jobs because only a few do what they love and want. You've literally wasted a year doing something you don't want to or don't like. You lost 1 year of your life doing what you don't want and don't like. When we eliminate most of these things from your average life, we arrive at the average number and duration of your life. You only really live your life for 10 years. How many of those 10 years were you happy? How unhappy were you? How much time did you spend doing activities that you really love? How much time have you spent feeling love for someone? How much time have you spent in anger or even hatred? Some people are angry with someone right now and they spend time on it. This negative emotion exists only with them and they live with it, feeling bad. Isn't that a waste of life? What all people have in common is that the vast majority of them say at the end of their lives that their life just flew by, and no one who is 50, 60 or 70 years old will say, "I am 50 years old, but it seems to me that I have lived 100 years." But everyone will say that he feels as if he is 20 or 30 years old, even though time has eaten him up. Most people on their deathbed regret the time they wasted, regret the time they spent getting angry or arguing, regret the time they spent doing jobs they didn't like, regret the missed opportunities for love, and regret the fear of not taking any action. You literally have no time to waste. You don't have time to decide on your decisions. From tomorrow I start exercising. From tomorrow I start a diet. From tomorrow I will be responsible with my money, or from tomorrow I will approach the girl I like. Often turns into the day after tomorrow, which turns into a month, which moves into the next new year. A cycle of new changes begins, but turns into I've never changed anything in my life. Now is the time for decisions. No one else will make them for you. You have to overcome your fears and get out of a job you don't like. Get away from a partner who suffocates and exhausts you. No one but you will make the change in your life that will finally make you stop wasting your life. Only a crazy person can keep doing the same things and hope for a positive change. Such a positive change rarely happens by itself, and you simply don't have time to wait for it. One day, someone will wake up old and weak, regretting the time lost. I bet most of you will be haunted in a positive way the next time, today or tomorrow, when you stand in the crowds and lines of your shopping mall, spending an average of 6 months of your life in line. The time you have spent so far is irretrievably lost. How you spend your time from now on is up to you. My advice to you is to really live life to the fullest, without procrastination, starting with the smallest things that will lead to the bigger things that await you, and of course, without fear of change, because that is your biggest problem. We cannot conquer that fear for you, but we can help you overcome it together. The first step towards positive change is to stop wasting your precious and short lives. Is there life before death? It depends on the person.